Hello everyone, this is Asra Sultana, Assistant Professor in Triple Department, ISL Engineering College. I would like to discuss about the electrical machine of previous year paper, that is May June 2009 paper for CBSE students. Maximum marks of which is 70 marks. There will be two parts here, part A and part B. Part A carries 20 marks, 10 questions will be there. Each question carries 2 marks. And part B will have 7 questions. Out of 7 questions, you have to answer 5 questions. Each question will carry 10 marks. So total 50 for long answers and 20 for short answers. So total will be 70 marks. So I am going to solve this paper of previous years, that is May June 2019 electrical machines. I prepared a key for this paper. First question is, state the various phenomena useful for electromechanical energy conversion in rotating machines. So in rotating machine, there are two types of torque available. One is electromagnetic torque, another one is reluctance torque. So tendency of field to align themselves in the same direction is called interaction torque or electromagnetic torque. And reluctance torque is a torque experienced by ferromagnetic object placed in an electrical magnetic field, which causes the object to line up with the external magnetic field. Next question is field energy and co-energy definition. So this is the diagram of lambda versus I, and co-energy is a non-physical quantity measured in energy units used in theoretical analysis of energy in physical systems, and the concept of co-energy can be applied to many conservative systems, which can be described by linear relationship between input and the stored energy. So this is a diagram of lambda versus I. In this you can see this is the linear part, and this is the energy. This part is energy and this is co-energy. Third question is, what are the functions of interpoles and how are the interpole windings connected? Interpoles are tapered poles used in DC machines, and main purpose of interpoles is to improve commutation by reducing armature reaction. Interpole winding is connected in series with armature winding through brushes to neutralize the armature flux in the interpolar region. Next is a numerical. A 6-volt 10 kW 240 volt DC machine is wave connected. Machine is lab connected. All other remaining things, calculate voltage, current and power. So I calculated here. Current value is P by V, that is 10 kW is 10 into 10 power 3 by voltage is 240, 41.66 amps. Next is, give the conditions to build up voltage in a shunt generator. So first one is, shunt winding should have residual magnetic field. Second one is, direction of shunt winding and armature winding should be in such a way that flux generated by them should aid together, and if on open circuit, shunt field resistance should be less than critical resistance. If excited on load, then its shunt field resistance should be more than a certain minimum value of resistance, which is given the internal characteristics. Define critical resistance of a DC shunt generator. Sixth question. Critical field resistance is defined as the maximum field circuit resistance with which the shunt generator would excite. The shunt generator will build up voltage only if the field circuit resistance is less than critical field resistance. So there is one more term related. It is not asked in the question, but critical speed. Critical speed is the speed for which the given shunt field resistance becomes critical field resistance. Next is, list the protective devices in a starter. So there are two protective devices in a starter. A starter is starter is used in DC motor to start the motor in a desired safe way. So overload release and low volt coil are the two protective devices in a starter. Overload release is will protect the motor from overload, When overload occurs, OLC will attract lever to short circuit the edge energization of NVC. NVC is nothing but no volt coil here, and no volt coil will protect the motor and supply fails. In such case, NVC is re-energized and handle comes back to off position. Next is the numerical here. DC motor develops a torque of 200 Newton meter at 25 rps. At 20 rps, what is the developed torque? Torque is inversely, the relationship between torque and the speed is torque is inversely proportional to speed. So T1 by T2 is N2 by N1. T1 is given as 200 and T2 we have to calculate. N2 is 20 and N1 is 25. When cross multiply, T2 we are getting as 250 Newton meter. Next is define the following terms: base speed, speed regulation and speed range. Base speed is nothing but onset speed, at least the terminal voltage of the motor becomes rated voltage, and speed regulation is the speed is defined as the changing speed from no load to full load expressed as a fraction or percentage of full load speed. Percentage regulation is speed at no load minus speed at full load by speed at full load into 100%. Speed range. Continuous operation of DC motors is commonly available over a speed range of 80 to 1. Then numerically here in a brake test, the effective load. So in place of effective, it was given in question paper as efficiency, it is effective load. So in a brake test, the effective load on the branch pulley was 40 kg. The effective diameter of the pulley is 73.5 cm and speed 15 rps. Motor takes 60 amps at 230 volts. Calculate the output power. So first write the given data. Effective load W1 minus W2 is given as 40 kg. Diameter is 73.5 cm. Radius will be diameter by 2. So 73.5 by 2, that is 36.75 cm. And if you have to convert the into meter, that is 1 meter is 100 cm. So multiply this 36.75 into 10 power minus 2 to get the value in meters. Speed is given as 15 rps, current is given as 60 amps, voltage is 230 volts, and we have to calculate the output power. Shaft torque is given as 40 into this 36.75 radius, that is 36.75 into 10 power minus 2 kg meter. If you have to convert that into Newton meter, multiply it by 9.81. So I am getting the values as 144.207 Newton meter. Next we have to calculate output power. Output power is given as torque into angular velocity in radian per second. That is torque value I have substituted here into 2 pi into n. N is 15. So 2 pi into 15, that is I am getting this as 13.584 kilowatt or 135.84.29 watt. Motor input is 60 into 230. That is 138.00 watt. Percentage motor efficiency is output by input into 100. So 98.43 is the efficiency I got here. So these are the short questions of the May June 2009 paper. So next is the reaction of coupling magnetic field on electrical and mechanical system is essential for electromechanical energy conversion. And VBIT is the describe the principle of virtual work and hence show that magnetic field FE is given by minus dot WF LD by dot X 5x. So let us see the principle of electromechanical energy conversion. Role of electricity is extremely versatile here. Although energy is seldom directly available in electrical form, ultimately it is required in electrical form. Conversion of other forms of energy into electrical is a common practice. So chief advantage of this conversion is that energy in electrical form can be transmitted, controlled and utilized with relative simplicity, reliability and efficiency. Energy conversion devices are required first to convert energy in non-electrical form to energy in electrical form, then to convert electrical energy into desired useful form, such as light, heat, sound or mechanical energy. So electromechanical energy conversion process will take place through the medium of electric or magnetic field of the conversion device. Although various conversion devices operate on similar principles, their structures depend on their function. So this is the diagram of electric generator and electric motor. So this is the general analysis of electromagnetic system. We have to consider the attracted armature relay excited by an electrical source. Field develops mechanical force F field acted upon external mechanical system. Mechanical work done by the field is given as dW mechanical is F field dx. So this energy is drawn from the field by virtue of change dx in field configuration. According to principle of energy conversion, mechanical energy output is electrical energy input minus increase in field energy. That is F field dx is equal to dW electrical minus dW field, and field dx is id psi minus dW field. W field is I psi minus W field dash. So here W field is field energy and W field dash is core energy. So dW field is d plus of I psi minus d field dash. So above expression for magnetic or mechanical force produced applied when I is an independent variable, that is when it is current excited system. In case psi x are independent variables, W field is W field of psi x, and the derivative of the W field is dou of field energy by dou psi into d psi plus dou of field energy dou x into dx. So substituting d field in the above equation, we are going to get field dx is minus dou field by dou x dx plus I minus dou field by dou psi dou d psi. So finally we are going to get this expression. Field energy is minus dou field of dou x and its variables are psi and x. Or you can take it as phi x. Okay, and then you can take it as psi or phi, anything is same. So similarly, determination of magnetic or mechanical force, here F field is delta of W field dash delta x, and F field is minus delta field W field by delta x. So W field dash is equal to half Li square, and it is equal to half I square dou Lx. So F field is dou field dash by dou x, that is half I square dou Lx dou x. So when we substitute all this, we can get the P field is minus dou F field I theta by dou theta, or phi, you can take the terms as phi x or I theta, anything is same. So this is done with video. So in the 11th question we are done, and now is 12th question. Design and draw a simplex wave winding with the following details: 4 poles, 15 slots, 2 coil size per slot, progressive winding. Indicate the location of brushes on the winding diagram. Let us now write the given data. P is equal to 4. P is equal to 4. Z is equal to slots into coil size per slot. Z value is not given directly, so we have to find out it like this. That is, there is slots into coil size per slot. That is 15 into 2, that is 30. Average pitch is IA Z plus or minus 2 by P. That is 30 plus or minus 2 by 4, or 32 by 4, or 28 by 4. It can be 8 or 7. Back pitch is equal to front pitch, that is 7. YB or YH is M. So now we have to do the back connections and front connections. So how we have done back connection? That is 1 to 1 plus 7. That is 8. This is back connection. Then front connection 8 to 8 plus 7, 15. Next is 15 to 15 plus 7, 22. Next is 22 to 22 plus 7, 29. Next is 29 to 29 plus 7, 36. So 36, we don't have that many conductors. We have Z is 30. So subtract 36 by 30. So 36 minus 36. Then 6 to 6 plus 7, 13. 13 to 13 plus 7, 20. 20 to 20 plus 7, 27. So similarly, I have done till here. 17 to 17 plus 7, 24. 24 to 24 plus 7, 31. So 31 minus 30 is 1. So when you draw a diagram, so first you have to draw the conductors. I have drawn here 30 conductor lines, 30, and one also I have drawn here. Then I have written here odd numbers on this top right, and then here down bottom I have written even numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, like this I have written. Then according to the connections, so according to the connection, that is 1 to 10. First is 1 to 8. Sorry, not 1 to 10, 1 to 8. See here, 1 to 8. So from here 1 to 8 I have got. Then is 8 to 15. So 8 to 15, like this here. The next is 15 to 22. So this 15 to 22. Then 22 to 29. Then 22 to 29. So like that all front and back connections we have done, and we have formed the 4 poles and connected like this. We have developed a wave winding diagram. So first what I have done, I have drawn a 30 conductors, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31. So one, I have named it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 31. So back connections is 1 to 8. So 1 to 8, then 8 to 15, 8 to 15 I have done. Then 15 to 22, 15 to 22, then 22 to 29, 22 to 29, then 29 to 6. So 29 to 6 means like this it will go, and 6 will be connected here. Then 6 to 13, 6 to 13 like this. 13 to 6 to 13, 13 to 20, 13 to 20, 20 to 27. So like this connections we have done. I have done it here. By seeing the front and back connections, we have developed a wave winding diagram. So this will come for 10 marks as a lap or wave winding. Anything can come for 10 marks. So we have done the short answers, 11th to 12th question also. Let us see 13th question. How are the series and shunt windings arranged on a pole of a DC compound machine? How will you distinguish series and shunt windings of a DC compound machine? So now I have taken here DC compound motor. Effective is either compound motor or compound generator. And this is a bit carrying 5 marks question. And DC motor is a DC compound motor will consist of part of field winding connected in series and part of field winding connected in parallel with the armature. It is further classified as long shunt and short shunt. So long shunt, you can see here I have drawn a diagram. This is IAC, I series current and line current. IL is line current here, IL. IA is armature current here, RSH is shunt resistance. and here it is connected to load, and this is terminal voltage E. So in this type, shunt field winding is connected across the combination of armature and series field winding. IL is equal to ISC plus ISH, but ISC is IA. IL is equal to IA plus ISH, and ISH is V by RSH. V is equal to EV plus IARA plus ISC, RSC plus V brush. As ISC is equal to IA, I can write here V is equal to EV plus IA into RA plus RSC plus V brush. Now let us see short shunt motor. So in this type, shunt field winding is connected purely in parallel with the armature, and the series field is connected in series with this combination. Now here you can see IL line current is equal to series current ISC. IL is equal to ISC. This is IL and this is ISC. And IL is equal to IA plus ISH, and V is equal to EV plus ISC, RSC plus IARA plus V brush, and V is equal to EV plus IL RSC plus IARA plus V brush. Also I can write here ISH is V minus IL RSC by RSH, and that is equal to EV plus IARA plus V brush by RSH. So this is 13th one A bit. Next we shall see the problem numerical based here. 13th one B bit. A 4-pole DC compound generator armature series and shunt field resistances of 1 ohms, 0.5 ohms and 100 ohms respectively. This generator delivers 4 kW at a terminal voltage of 200 volts, allowing 1 volt per brush per contact drop. Calculate for both short and long shunt connections the generated EMF and flux per pole if the armature has 200 lap connected conductors and driven at 750 rpm. So let us first write the given data. So given data is number of poles P is equal to 4, RSC is equal to 1 ohms, RSH is equal to 0.5 ohms, RA is equal to 100 ohms. P is given as 4 kilowatt, IL will be equal to P by V, that is 4 into 10 power 3 kilo is 10 power 3, 4 into 10 power 3 by 200. So when you cancel this, you will get 20 amps. V is 200 volts given, V brush is 1 volt per brush, and Z is given as 200, and N is 750 rpm. Lap connected means what? A is equal to 2. We have to find out EMF and flux per pole. So let us first take first bit. The short shunt voltage drop in series winding is 20 into 1, 20 volts, and the voltage drop across shunt field winding is 200 plus 20, that is 220 volts. So ISH is 220 by 0.5. 440. 440 plus 20, 460. IARA will be equal to 460 into 100. That is 46,000 is IARA drop, and brush drop is nothing but 2 into 1, that is 2 volts. EG will be equal to V plus series drop plus brush drop plus IARA, that is 200 plus 22 plus 46.2 kilovolts. Next is flux per pole. Flux per pole is Eg is equal to P5Zn by 60A. So from this all things are given here, so we have to find out phi. Phi is the flux per pole. This value is 6 into 10 power 5. This divided by 55 4 6 4 0. So flux per pole is given as we got as 0.108 webers. So this we have done for short shunt. Again, similarly we have to do it for long shunt. So this problem is carrying 5 marks. So long shunt, again IL is long shunt diagram we have to draw. IL is 20 amps, ISS is 20 by 0.5 400 amps, IA is IL plus ISS 420 amps. Series field drop 420 into 1 420. Armature drop is 420 into 100, that is 40 into 10 per 3 volts. Brush drop is 2 volts. So now we have to calculate the EG is V plus series field drop plus armature drop plus brush drop. Series field drop we got it as 420. Armature drop is 40 into 10 per 3 and brush drop is 2. So when you add all this, 200 plus 420 plus 2, that is 42622 volts. So this is EG we have calculated. Then we have to substitute this value 42622 here in equal to P5Zn by 60A equation. So substitute all the values and find out the value of 5. So 5 will be equal to this 42622 into 60 into 2 by 4 into 200 into 750. So numerator I got as 5114640. Denominator is 4 into 200 into 750. So this we are getting as 5114640 divided by 8.52. This also I have done 1 by 5. 1 by 5 is the same. To find webers. See students, question is given as 4-pole DC compound generator will have armature winding, armature resistance as 1 ohm, series resistance as 0.5 ohms and shunt resistance as 100 ohms. So generator delivers 4 kilowatt at a terminal voltage of 200 volts. 1 volt per brush is given here. Calculate for both shunt and long shunt and short shunt connections generated EMF and flux per pole if armature has 200 lap connected conductors and given at 750 RPM. So when we are given first write the given data, then you draw the diagram of short shunt, write the equations of EG is V plus series drop plus brush drop plus IARA, and flux per pole we calculate by formula EG is P5Zn by 60A. So substitute all the values, that is EG we have calculated from this above equation, and substitute all the values in this equation. So you are going to get the flux per pole value also. Then similarly do it for long shunt also. Draw the diagram, write all the equations, find out the value of EG first, then first find out the value of flux per pole. So students, next section I am going to say the remaining answers. Thank you for watching my video.